360 Community Blitz. They took part in 5 service projects to help local children stay healthy and active as part of the league's campaign to fight childhood obesity.
I think most importantly, just giving the kids an understanding about being active. I think that's the biggest message that you can give them.
To get involved in the NFL Play 60 programs, visit NFLRush.com. Big presence here this week. The military. In fact, there was a practice held at Hickam Air Force Base, open to just the families of the military. And GMC is proud to honor the men and women of today's armed forces, of which 200 members and their families are here with us today. GMC celebrates our troops as the true embodiment of the never say never spirit and is grateful for their sacrifice and service. There's one drill where you don't want to make a mistake.
Take the off, Mike, you or me. I'm not walking through there.
I know one thing was pretty cool when the crowd started cheering USA, USA, and it just kind of get chill bumps when you have an opportunity to say thank you for the people that protect our nation.
Well, guys, you just saw really the biggest attraction this week of all the players. Doug, you and I were out to practices, and people could not get enough of Cam Newton, the #1 pick in the draft last year. Of course, had a sensational rookie season for the Carolina Panthers. And we got a little razzle-dazzle here for the NFC on the opening kickoff. Corey Graham has the football, and he's across the 25-yard line. So tied at 28 at the half. Of course, huge numbers rolled up. And here's a look at him. 371 yards through the air by the AFC.
But look at those numbers. Great run defense, huh?
Cam Newton, 6'5", 248 pounds. I guess the quarterbacks have grown up a little bit, Doug, since your days as a...
I was undersized at 5'10", right? When everybody else was 6'1" to 6'3". Now they're all 6'5", 6'6", and he is just... It's ridiculous. He's a tight end body.
NFL rookie record, more than 4,000 yards. In fact, he's the first NFL quarterback to throw for 4,000, rush for more than 500. He just did it all. He went above everybody's expectations this year, Mike Mayock, including yours.
No doubt. Last year I had him ranked as the second best quarterback coming out in the draft, and the reason for that was not his physical skill set. I know he throws the football beautifully. I know he's a natural thrower of the ball. I know he's a great athlete. My only question with him a year ago was that whole entertainer and icon thing. Did he want to be the best quarterback in the NFL, or was he going to be content making a lot of money and being an entertainer and an icon? And Cam Newton, congratulations. What an unbelievable rookie year you just had.
And you just saw the guys on the sidelines as he slings it out to Steve Smith, his Panther teammate, Darrelle Revis, on the coverage. Another chance for a guy like Newton to soak up all that knowledge. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. He spent some quality time with those guys this week. 3,000 yards in a season. The list topped by Cam Newton in his NFL rookie year, more than 4,000. The only one to go over that mark. Andy Dalton will be seeing some action for the AFC side. Another rookie, and again the first time in history of the Pro Bowl that we've had 2 rookie quarterbacks in the same game. And here's a look at that throwing motion by Cam Newton, complete to Steve Smith. And Newton, plus a new head coach in Carolina and a new offensive coordinator. That's one of the reasons why Steve Smith, the formerly disgruntled Steve Smith, wants to stick around now in Carolina.
Yeah, I think he's invigorated the career of 32-year-old Steve Smith. And here's the motion. Doug, clearly over the top. When he gets his feet set and steps into it, it's as pretty as anything you've ever seen.
I stood next to him when he was warming up at the championship game last year, college championship game, and the ball just smoothly out of his hand. Flick of the wrist. He can fling it 70 yards down the field, no problem. All the athleticism, all the tools. The question was, coming from a spread offense, how would he adapt to the NFL game?
And he throws a pick. And Eric Weddle, who tied for first in the NFL with interceptions, has got a big return to go on top of it. And he's finally brought down by Carl Nix. So Cam Newton throws it right into the arms.
Now,
Eric Weddle.
The first ball he threw was high, and this ball is. Now, I want to see if his feet, lower body and upper body, are connected. and it didn't look like they were, Doug.
Not at all. His feet were still on the move. They were actually parallel to the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball.
Exactly.
Looked like Tony Gonzalez.
See, look at the feet. As Doug said, he was kind of in the air. And there's no way you can throw an accurate football without a solid base. And that's okay. I mean, that's who this kid is. Every once in a while at Auburn, that's what you would see. But his physical skill set is awesome. And here comes a kid that had a storybook year also in Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton, the rookie out of Texas Christian, who led the Bengals to the playoffs. And he slings it out to Maurice Jones-Drew. A year ago, Dalton was where you just were, Mike, in Mobile, Alabama at the Senior Bowl. A year later, he comes out, he wins the starting job with the exit of Carson Palmer, goes out and wins 9 games in his rookie season and leads the Bengals into the playoffs.
And you know what? The Bengals take a lot of heat for their drafting, but I think we've got to take a step back and recognize there's 4 Bengals here under age 25, and that Mike Brown and his staff has done a pretty good job over the last few years of drafting quality young players.
That one is knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Jason Babin, the Eagle lineman. But a whirlwind year for Andy Dalton. He goes to the Rose Bowl, then he goes to the Combine, then the Senior Bowl, Pro Day, Draft Day. He gets married. He moves to Cincinnati a couple of weeks later. And now in his first Pro Bowl, as you take a look at the most touchdown passes by a rookie in a season, Newton and Dalton close up there to Peyton Manning and Charlie Connerly of the 1940s. 3rd and 6. Dalton to the end zone, and it's incomplete. You wanted Brandon Marshall.
The thing about Andy Dalton to me, Doug, is that A, he won so many football games at TCU. He was a winner and a 4-year starter. B, nothing ever phases him. And when you talk to the Bengals coaches on both sides of the line of scrimmage, whether it's Marvin Lewis and Jay Gruden, or even when you talk to Mike Zimmer, their defensive coordinator, they all say if he throws an interception or a touchdown, he's the same guy. Nothing gets to him. And Doug, I think that's one of the reasons he was so comfortable as a rookie.
Well, he showed it all through his college career, whether it was last-second drives, his back to the wall, poise.
Sebastian Janikowski booms it through from 37. He was 31 at 35 in his field goal attempts on the season. As they're riding some pretty nice waves here on the coastline of Oahu. Wow. AFC up by 3.
ESPN America bringing you the best NHL action all season long. On Saturday night, Eastern Conference heavyweights collide as the defending Stanley Cup champs welcome Malkin in the Pens to the Garden. Penguins at Bruins, Saturday at 1900 CET, live on ESPN America.
What you talking about?
ESPN America isn't just your source for North American sports in Europe and the Middle East.
It's a community that brings American sports fans together.
We've taken fandom to the next level by teaming up with Twitter and Facebook
so you can debate the hottest sports topics with other passionate fans
and follow some of your favorite ESPN American personalities.
What are you waiting for? Get online and join our community.
Check out ESPN America's great apps on Facebook
and follow us on Twitter.
Among the islands of Hawaii, Cam Newton coming off the interception. Got a report from Randy Moss that he's gone into the equipment bag as Aaron Rodgers helped him look for a football that was more to his liking. He's found it to be a little slick.
So that's a feel for maybe they're slipping in the kicking balls on the rookie and they're all slipped up. I don't know.
Janikowski with a line drive to Patrick Peterson, who fakes the reverse and gets it up close to the 35-yard line. I mentioned Dalton and Cam Newton. First pair of rookie quarterbacks selected to the Pro Bowl. Joe Namath, also among the rookie quarterbacks in the Pro Bowl. Dan Marino, Vince Young. And then again, the first duo to play in the same game, Dalton and Newton.
Here we go. We got left. Keep left. Wale, don't want. Ready?
Little naked bootleg going left. The tight end will block down and then slip out late, right in front of him. Probably have a comeback out on the outside with the tight end releasing into the flat and the crossing.
And Newton throws it to the sidelines, incomplete. Roddy White was the intended receiver. Doug Flutie, what happened to the days of, you know, the apprenticeship for an NFL quarterback? He would learn, you'd be the understudy for a few years.
You know, those days are gone. Because number one, because of the big money, there's pressure to play these kids sooner. But number two, they have so many off-season practices, so many camps, that they have the time to prepare these kids. Plus, in college, there's more sophisticated passing games, and the kids are a little more prepared.
Which makes the Newton season even more remarkable, since it was a lockout. Camps got started late. Newton, as a rookie, was just learning on the fly and ended up having a great season.
You know what I'm seeing also? I'm seeing offensive coordinators and head coaches willing to make these kids comfortable. It always used to be, here's the playbook, kid. When you're ready, we'll get to you. Go out and learn it. Now, Rob Chudzinski from Carolina is putting in the zone read play that he played in college. He's making them comfortable. Tom Clements, the quarterback coach, developed Aaron Rodgers, makes him comfortable. Jay Gruden has made Andy Dalton comfortable. And I think coaches around the league are more cognizant of, if we're going to play them, maybe we owe it to these kids to give them a better chance.
By the way, Tom Clements calling all the plays for the NFC. The head coaches Mike McCarthy and Cam Newton dialing this one up, and a touchdown to Steve Smith, his Carolina teammate.
Doug and I just looked at each other and we both went, wow.
Just the effortless motion and spinning that ball 60, 70 yards down the field.
He's got a whip. He's got a whip. Here's the move. Just turn and run, Ryan Clark, because that's just Steve Smith taking off. And his NFL teammate and partner throwing it out there.
Steve Smith, a happy camper now, but he was the guy that asked for a trade following the 2-14 season that Carolina went through last year. But again, a new offensive coordinator, new head coach in Ron Rivera, and Cam Newton on the scene has Steve Smith looking to stick around in Carolina. Smith, by the way, flew his family here and his receivers to Hawaii in honor of his Pro Bowl appearance.
Catch all the action on Friday Night Fights starting at 0400 CET, live on ESPN America.
He's in trouble. He's spun around. He's able to get away. Looks to throw. He does downfield, and a elite catch is made. What a play by Eli Manning.
Him getting away from those defenders was half of the miracle in itself.
How he got out of the grasps, away from those New England guys, was remarkable. You talk about second, third, and fourth effort. There was no quit in Eli.
Then came the catch that would vault an unknown player into the national consciousness.
You know what? I get goosebumps when I see it. It amazes me absolutely.
How'd you come in? 84. No, here's what you do. You take numeric 691 over and then shoot up 84.
Yeah, you guys think that's bad. You see the 405. Dude, I was kidding.
What? He's joking around with you. So there's no B on me?
No.
No.
Okay. Messed up. Messed up!
Sports Center, weekday mornings at 0700 CET, live on ESPN America.
Part of the Super Bowl festivities, Madonna, 7-time Grammy Award winner. It's the Bridgestone Super Bowl 46 halftime show again next Sunday night, only on NBC. So after the AFC takes its first lead of the game, look at that shot. Wow. The NFC strikes with Cam Newton's connection to Steve Smith, 35-31 with 11-12 left in the third. David Akers sending it Brown's way. Oh, here we go again, just across midfield. The scramble's on.
Sean Slocum, the special teams coach of the Packers, is putting the show on today, man. Look at him.
He's loving it.
Why not? He's got nothing to lose. Second onside kick of the game by David Akers. Look at the height he gets. That's classic. Ball's loose.
And I believe Brian Jennings, Akers' 49er teammate, made the recovery.
Now, this is a rhetorical question, kind of, but have you ever seen a Pro Bowl with 2 onside kicks and a fake punt by one team?
And a fake reverse and the reverse on kickoff return. He's either having a blast, which is a lot of fun for the fans, or making some enemies over there on the AFC side.
Oh, man. Oh, that's great.
So now Cam Newton set up at the 42 of the AFC. And we've got a running play. And that is Marshawn Lynch of Seattle, brought down by James Harrison. So here is the an earlier onside kick. And then the fake punt that you referred to.
Yeah. How about your kicker, your punter throws it out to Patrick Peterson, and you get a first down.
Akers and Lee show here. This is the second onside delivered by Akers. So after the gain of 3, 2nd and 7, and Newton to Fitzgerald short of the first down. It's incomplete.
And Doug, when you look at this guy, this quarterback, Cam Newton, his accuracy is all tied into technique. He's got ability coming out everywhere, every pore of his body. But you can see his feet haven't really caught up with his upper body so far in this game.
Yeah, his feet are all over the place. Even on the long ball, we were looking at the replay of it. He kind of ran into the throw and just flicked it with his wrist. If he ever gets his feet set and turns it loose and has his feet under him, it's all over.
Yep.
So it's 3rd down and 2.
Here we go, White 80. White 80.
And Newton's going to do what he did a lot of this year. Let's run the ball with a little less authority than he did during this regular season.
Oh, man.
But it's really remarkable to see that athlete, again, 6'5", 250, move around the football field with that kind of size, strength, and agility.
And the other aspect of it we saw this week in practice was his enthusiasm for being here. He ran out, ran some routes, went and caught a deep ball, tried to catch some kickoffs or punts, and just really embracing the moment of being out here in the wild.
Coming this way. Here we go. Coming this way. What is it? What is it? Pick up him. Pick up him.
And he's got Tony Gonzalez this time.
How about those 2 Hall of Famers right there? Tony Gonzalez and Brian Dawkins. 2 great football players.
I'm with you, Jay Harris. Hey, you got 24. 180.
You can hear Ray Lewis out there. The AFC linebacker, and this one is incomplete, intended for Jimmy Graham. Eric Weddle on the coverage.
Dan, I really like the point you just brought up about Ray Lewis. We could hear him through our microphones. And when you talk about a leader and a guy that's been around and understands how to take charge of the defense, that's your guy. He's calling it. I mean, what is this, his 16th year?
Mm-hmm.
Red one.
How many times has he been here, Dan?
Coming you
12.
again, 9-2.
Well done. Listen to him.
Base red one. Strong left.
Led the team.
Listen to him. He loves this.
Hey, this is the one you got to play the back. Here we go. I got
Here you go.
This
This is the one you got to play the back. He gets everybody lined up.
2nd and 10 pass incomplete to Tony Gonzalez. Remarkable career, 16th season with the Ravens. All the games played, the 12-time Pro Bowl selection, Super Bowl MVP when the Ravens won it all. And there's no one that was more disappointed after Baltimore lost in the AFC Championship to the New England Patriots. A stinging loss for the team, but it's been replayed over and over. It's all over the internet now. Ray Lewis's post-AFC Championship speech to the team, which basically emphasized, keep it all in perspective, guys. Keep that hungry feeling, and maybe we'll have a chance to get back to the Super Bowl again. This pass is intercepted. And it's Jonathan Joseph. Of the Houston Texans with a pick.
Jonathan Joseph, flat-footed read, jumps the route. Cam stared it down a little bit. What a great season for this young man, going from Cincinnati to Houston, ending up in the playoffs. And fellas, we got a pretty good football game. The NFC 35, AFC 31.
Here they are, the national panel.
Today I'm feeling like the bee's knees.
Every day I lose, I die just a little. Around the Horn is my favorite to do.
Let's go to work.
A great young talent.
He is not that popular. Tell me, they win bad games. I have a real problem with it because he punched a guy.
Why'd you have to go get Woody all riled up?
Get over it. I'm fine with it.
Woody and I get awful tired of having to set these youngins straight.
What more could you possibly want? The perfect bobblehead technique.
Going old school.
Here's an extra point for you. How about that? It's not over, it's just beginning.
Don't miss Around the Horn, weekdays on ESPN America.
Oh, the adrenaline is flowing. You hit the field, you see the lights, you see the cameras, you see the banners, all the colors. You see all the people in the stands. They call your name out, you run out that tunnel, and I think you're pretty gassed before the game starts. You have to go take about a 10-minute break before you can actually come back in that game. But it's really like no feeling that I can ever describe to you.
Well, my favorite Super Bowl memory as a player probably was the touchdown pass to John Taylor to win the Super Bowl against Cincinnati.
Montana, touchdown, John Taylor.
As a kid, I had done that thousands of times in my backyard. I used to make my neighbor dive for it, so it was a little more fun to watch him hit the ground.
That is what you call a play-by-play guy's nightmare. 3 24s for the AFC. Jonathan Joseph, Darrelle Revis, and Champ Bailey representing the AFC, all next to each other. And what about Ryan Matthews on offense?
What about Montel Owens on special teams? Let's get them all in there if we're going to do it.
1st and 10. Dalton gives it to Maurice Jones-Drew. And he's got some room.
Run game.
Well, there's your yards per carry, and your run game average just jacked up.
Did you see him at the end, see Clay Matthews coming and veer the other way?
I thought he wasn't going to see him. I thought Clay was going to have a chance at the strip at the end of this run.
Classic Clay Matthews, right, coming from behind. Watch Matthews from the right side. And Maurice Jones-Drew steals that Green Bay helmet gum and makes the cutback. That's beautiful.
Just great awareness, vision.
Gain of 39 for Maurice Jones-Drew, NFL's leading rusher. 1st and 10 from the 25. And here is Willis McGahee, brought down by Chad Greenway. As we send it back down to Alex.
Hey, Ray, you are the biggest fan out here. Just what do you love about this so much?
I mean, I gotta tell you what, the bottom line is everybody's out here to have a good time and have fun. But as you see, competition is competition. And there's all sorts on both sides. And it's just classic seeing us go at each other, Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. But I think it's just the best opportunity to play against each other.
As a veteran in this league, you have so much to offer the young guys. I see you here teaching, talking to Von Miller. What kind of things are you telling them?
You know what? Some of it is about life, and then some of it is just about the game. And all of it is relevant at the bottom line. And, just have the conversations that we're having. You know what I'm saying? There's so many private conversations that we have as men that'll blow your mind. But then when we talk about football, it's just real good to see the chemistry.
Ray, you pretty immediately said that you were not done. We thought you might be retiring at the end of this year. Is there any chance that you might rethink that in the offseason?
That'll be sad. That'll be sad if I ever thought about that. That'll be selfish for me and my craft, and that'll be more selfish for me towards my teammates in my city.
So it's likely that we will see you here at another Pro Bowl.
No, absolutely not.
It's not the Super Bowl.
No more Pro Bowls. I'm trying to get a Super Bowl.
Ray, thank you. Dan, back up to you.
No more Pro Bowls as Maurice Jones-Drew gets the carry.
His point with that is not that my quality of play is going to drop, but I'm going to be playing in the Super Bowl. I don't want to be here. How about the running game starting to pick up as the younger guys or the guys that haven't been here as much get in, and not to mention Ray. I mean, Ray's been here 12 times, but now all of a sudden the games get competitive in the second half, a little more physical. They're able to run the football.
Look at those guys right there, the Brickashaw, Ferguson. You see to Allen right after that, Ben Grubbs. Look at the center there. That center has been around forever. I'm going to tell you right now, one of the most underrated players in the entire league is Chris Myers.
On 3rd and 5, Dalton has his man, A.J. Green, who tried to break through, and Chad Greenway fell on the ball.
Oh, man.
Tried to get a little too much out of it.
Now, I hate instant replay, always have, but this is kind of interesting. Now, is he still up? He's still on a body. I think he's on a body the entire time. I think Greenway gets the fumble recovery. NFC ball in the 20. Let's see if you see anything down other than a hand or a foot. Anything but a hand or a foot.
That ball's loose.
Yeah, man.
That's a fumble.
Again, no replay in this Pro Bowl. 5:30 left in the 3rd. NFC up by 4.
The Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup, and they pour on to celebrate with Tim Thomas, their heroic goaltender. And this will undoubtedly be the highest that it's ever been held.
Unleashes the fury!
Don't miss the NHL all season long, live on ESPN America.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise, for the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit espnamerica.com.
The AFC wildcard Denver Broncos climbed to the top to pull off an upset over the favored Green Bay Packers.
And goal from the 1, Elway.
Denver running back Terrell Davis rushed for 157 yards and 3 touchdowns to become the MVP. With this victory, the Broncos ended the NFC's 13-season Super Bowl winning streak. In 1999, no one was surprised to see John Elway and his Broncos back in the big game as they took on the Atlanta Falcons in Super Bowl 33.
Down deep the middle of the field, Rod Smith got it!
Elway completed 18 of 29 passes for 336 yards and a touchdown and ran for another score himself to clinch back-to-back Super Bowls for the Denver Broncos.
Super Bowl 33 is history. The Denver Broncos are world champions once again.
Next Sunday, live from Indianapolis, Super Bowl 46. Eli Manning and the Giants, Tom Brady and the Patriots. That rematch of Super Bowl 42. Coverage begins next Sunday at noon Eastern time on NBC. How about that shot of Mauna Loa volcano on the Big Island? Acts up from time to time still. NFC 35, AFC 31, 5:30 left in the 3rd quarter. Cam Newton for the NFC to begin after the fumble by A.J. Green of the AFC. So from the 20, we've got the ball on the ground again as Marshawn Lynch is able to get it, and he tosses it to Cam Newton.
Let the boys
connect
play.
the dots.
Probably an illegal forward. No, it's not illegal. It's incomplete, but not illegal.
Ball's on the ground. Watch Lynch come up with it off after it was kicked. On his way down, he's flipping it.
He flips it forward to Cam.
Yeah, I think that's an incomplete pass.
It should be.
If you're scoring at home.
But that's okay.
Now, one of the best runs I ever saw in my life was Marshawn Lynch in the playoffs 2 years ago against New Orleans. And since then, he's turned into a beast. Had another big year. What a great trade from Buffalo to Seattle for the Seahawks.
Loss of 8 for the NFC, so second down and 18. Crowd doesn't like the looks of that play. We dare say we almost had a sack in the Pro Bowl.
Geno Atkins, who I think is one of the best three techniques, which is the defensive tackle on the guard in the NFL. Young player went in the 4th round. Outside the pocket. No intentional grounding today. Did they call that a sack or just an incomplete pass?
Incomplete pass, but if you're going to take him to the ground, you just got to grab him and drag him to the ground.
Atkins in the Pro Bowl, replacing Vince Wilfork of New England. One of 4 Bengals in the game. So 3rd and 18.
That time he gave a little shoulder to Cam just to let him know that if we're going to have you wrapped up and you're going to stay on your feet, we got to hit you a little harder.
I think that's fair. Let's serve some notice here.
It's just a little pop. Just Richard
Seymour gave him a little left shoulder. And by the way, he's got seniority.
Absolutely.
He's allowed to do that, right?
And if you're going to scramble around like Cam did,
yep,
we got to pull you down.
The rules are changing a little bit with planned quarterback runs in the Pro Bowl.
So the NFC backed up. 4th and 18 will punt it away. Andy Lee to send it Antonio Brown's way. Eric Weddle nearly had a block. Here's Brown. And Brown brought down. Ball's loose. Darrelle Revis has it for the AFC. 60-yard punt, 23-yard return by Brown. NFC on top. 35-31 in the Pro Bowl.
Hey, I'm Cole Wright. Join us tomorrow for an all-star edition of SportsCenter. The NFL Pro Bowl kicks off in Hawaii while the NHL's best take to the ice in Ottawa. Plus, LeBron James and the Heat host Derrick Rose and the Bulls. And in Dallas, Dirk Nowitzki looks to return to the lineup against the San Antonio Spurs. Not to mention, we'll check in on the Giants and Pats as they prep with Super Bowl 46 just 1 week away. All this and much, much more coming your way tomorrow on SportsCenter.
I remember the first time that I walked on the field in Pasadena, California in front of 105,000 people. Then you start realizing the impact of that game. And I mean, there's no other game like it. It's the electricity in the air is just unbelievable. So I mean, it's something that I'll never forget. And having the fortunate to be able to play in 5, they obviously change. That feeling changes, and you get more focused on the game and not so much hung up in what's going around the game.
The whole week of the first Super Bowl I played in was just a lot of fun. We had the party where I went with a top hat and tails, and that in and of itself was a lot of fun. But I just enjoyed the whole moment, the whole time I was there. And I remember asking Don Bro at practice, who was the running backs coach for the Redskins, what's the rushing record for the Super Bowl? And Don kind of got a big sly grin on his face. He said, I'll find that out for you. And of course, it turned out that I actually broke the rushing record. So I kind of enjoyed that.
There's more than 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Beautiful scenics of Hawaii. site for the 32nd year in a row of the Pro Bowl. It is the last of a 2-year deal between the state of Hawaii and the NFL. Lots of conversation this week about whether the game's going to return to Hawaii. I know one thing for sure, all the players universally wanted to stay here in Hawaii. We'll see what ends up.
How about the announcers?
I think that goes for us as well. 1st and 10 for the AFC. Andy Dalton downfield, and it was a great chance to be picked off there. Wait a minute! Brandon Marshall came up with it. Earl Thomas and Corey Graham were on the coverage. Looks like they ran into each other in the end of this pass play.
Stutter go route. Graham's beat. Here comes the safety. Cam Chancellor hits his foot.
Look at the catch.
It hit his foot, and he kicked it to himself.
That'll go down as one of the great highlight reel touchdowns in Pro Bowl history right there.
Yeah.
47 yards to Marshall.
Two players should intercept it, but because they're both there, they both go for the ball, knock it out of each other's hands, off a foot, deflection in the air.
Andy Dalton says, I knew it all the way.
Earl Thomas had that beat on that the whole way. That was fun.
So Janikowski to try to make it 38-35. And the AFC has the lead back on a circus-like catch by Brandon Marshall from Andy Dalton. And guys, I think the game has come a long way from the opening standpoint when the crowd was booing some of the early kind of play. They didn't really know what they were doing. But the further this game gets into, you can tell that especially the younger guys want to make sure they come out on top.
Well, there's an extra 25 grand at stake at the end of this game. The end of the game is getting closer, and the intensity is picked up as guys are competitive. Even if you're on a basketball court in the backyard, when it comes to game point, you pick it up.
And I always say when you scratch a competitor just a little bit, it's one thing to say we're going to play it a certain way, but when you scratch a competitor a little bit, all of a sudden watch out, and I think we're starting to see that.
Yeah, we saw a couple of hard hits, and then the next one hits a little harder, and Cam stayed on his feet on a scramble. Okay, I got to bump you a little harder.
Hey, the AFC just rushed the punt, which you're not allowed to do. I mean, things are changing.
Including the winds gusting. Feeling them a little more now at Aloha Stadium. Brandon Marshall, by the way, with a latest acrobatic catch for the touchdown. 3 catches, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. Not good at math, but that's good for a 50-yard average.
He can be, and I said this earlier, Brandon Marshall can be as good as he wants to be.
You said something earlier when you stood next to Janikowski and listened to his leg going to the ball, Mike. It's different.
Years ago, I stood next to him, and he kicked that one right through the uprights. But years ago, I stood next to him, and it sounded like an explosion every time his foot hit the ball. Just different than any other kicker I'd ever been around.
Yeah, not your typical physique, 6'2", 250, Janikowski. As Cam Newton comes out back onto the field for the NFC, smashes the show everyone's buzzing about, starring Angelica Houston, Deborah Messing, Megan Hilty, and Catherine McPhee. Smash premieres next Monday at 10, 9 Central on NBC. AFC up by 3, 38-35, 3:53 left in the third. Rookie quarterback out of Carolina, Cam Newton, continues to lead the NFC offense from the 20 now. And going up to his man, Steve Smith. Champ Bailey on the coverage for the AFC.
I remember week 1, Sebastian Janikowski. You talk about the distance, the leg strength. NFL record for years, I believe, has been 63 yards. Tom Dempsey been tied a couple times. And look at the just effortless.
And again, 12 seasons it took him to get to the Pro Bowl. Monster year for Janikowski. And deserving of being here in Hawaii as Marshawn Lynch struggles to hang on to the ball. check in with Alex again. Alex.
Hey guys, Sebastian Janikowski thrilled to be here, as you mentioned, his first Pro Bowl. Gary Kubiak telling me at the half, for the second half, his one goal was to try and get Sebastian Janikowski to break the Pro Bowl record for a field goal. The Pro Bowl record is 53 yards, held by David Akers, who's on the other sideline, hoping to get Sebastian to kick one longer than that. Remember, he kicked the 63-yarder in the regular season, so he can do it.
He's got a big leg, but the wind might have something to do with it. They have continued to gust here on 3rd and short. Lynch.
That looked like a real run play right there. A little smacking going on. 4th down. They'll probably go for it in their own end.
Yeah, that didn't resemble anything we saw in the first quarter. Little zone to the front side. Nice job of penetration. And ultimately, it's cleaned up by Antonio Smith. And by the way, Houston's run defense, Antonio Smith, I think the first-round pick, J.J. Watt, could make a case for being here this year. They were really fun to watch.
Smith at his first Pro Bowl, he helped shore up that Houston defense. Mario Williams got hurt. So many injuries for the Texans all year long as Newton was looking for Smith.
Again, that's all tied to his footwork, as we talked earlier. He sailed a handful of balls high, and it's just, you got to bring your feet. You got to understand the footwork for the throw. That is more than a quick slant. That's a one-step slant. And notice with the younger quarterbacks that it's been more erratic play calls. It's been more run calls, some play action bootleg, quarterback runs, not just the pure passing game.
2nd down and 10, ball just across 30 for the NFC, trailing by 3. And they're getting after Cam a little more, and that was Antonio Smith with the pressure.
Well, the unwritten rule is, Cam, if I'm closing on you, get rid of the ball and throw it away, and there'll be no contact. He's not going to throw it away, so we got to make a play.
You can't blame a defender for competing when the offensive player is competing. And now, that was real effort right there, Doug Flutie.
Absolutely, that's all.
Look at him try and strip the ball right there at the end.
We got a football game.
I got you, baby boy.
Ray Lewis talking.
I'm leaving. What is it? What is it?
And Newton is going to be short of the first down. That'll bring up 4th down as James Harrison chased him down.
All of a sudden, we're seeing some punts. Defensive intensity is picked up.
Well, those 4th down conversions are usually a cakewalk, so all of a sudden you realize it's not going to be a cakewalk.
Yep.
It's part of the way, play field position and play this out.
I would watch the fake here if I was the AFC defenders, Doug Flutie.
Well, you can only get away with it so many times.
They said about onside kicks.
Antonio Brown from the 10.
He's wanted to bust one all game.
And Antonio Brown gets collared, then gets out of it and gets it across to the 45. A 45-yard return by Brown after the 55-yard punt.
He's a really strong kid, a 6th-round pick. I give Kevin Colbert a ton of credit for these young wide receivers that he keeps drafting. He's going to take more and more snaps away from Hines Ward, the great All-Pro. And when you combine him with Sanders and Michael Wallace, all of a sudden you're talking about 3 young receivers who are special.
Let's go down to Randy Moss.
Yeah, here with Drew Brees. Your thoughts on how the competitiveness of this game has picked up?
Yeah, the second half rolls around, and obviously we're all competitors. We all want to win this game, so it does pick up a little bit, and guys are trying to make plays. And obviously it's a tight game right now, so we'll see what happens in the 4th quarter.
If anyone has an excuse not to play in this game, it's you. You dislocated your left elbow in this game 5 years ago, and yet you've been back now 3 times. It means a lot to you, huh?
Yeah, it does. It's an honor to be named to the Pro Bowl, and the opportunity to come over here and be around other guys that have earned that right as well, and to be here in Hawaii to enjoy the Hawaii sun and be here with these fans. It's a great opportunity and something I'll always try to take advantage of. I think that was a freak deal 5 years ago, and hopefully, knock on wood, I got that out of the way.
All right, thanks, Drew.
Yeah, thank you.
Doug, when you were Drew's teammate some 8-9 years ago, did you ever foresee this greatness that we see today from Drew?
Well, I saw the athleticism. I think that's one thing people sell short in Drew is his athleticism. But he is an undersized quarterback, and there were a few issues there with vision and things that went on, and he developed a feel for the sliding and the moving in the pocket, and then he got put into a spread offense that allowed him to explode.
Nice pickup there from Dalton to Jermaine Gresham. End of the third quarter. AFC 38, NFC 35. Pro Bowl on NBC continues after these messages and a word from your local NBC station.
This February on ESPN America, the finest athletes in the game take center stage. The NCAA college hoop season rolls on with live coverage from campuses across the nation. Modern-day gladiators step into the ring every Friday on Friday Night Fights. And hockey's best go head-to-head as the superstars of the NHL face off. The brightest stars, the biggest games, all this month live on ESPN America.
Everything hangs in the balance now. The outcome of a Super Bowl berth hangs in the balance.
3rd and 3 from the 6. At some point back in training camp, I had to throw the ball 3 times above his head in a row. And little did we know they would come into play later in the year.
I had come out of the game because I couldn't breathe. And I'm listening to what the play is going to be.
We're going to call a sprint option. He's going to break up and break into the corner. Okay.
I'm fine now. I'm going, especially for sprint right option.
We can stop them regardless. They need a touchdown.
Montana rolling out the right, looking toward the end zone, throwing under pressure, throws his pass.
I look at it and I say, oh, man, I'm glad that play is over. That ball's going out of bounds.
It's thrown exactly where Bill Walsh said to throw it.
I was not throwing the ball away.
Caught by Clark. Clark got a touchdown.
Get over there and everyone's telling me what a great catch Dwight's made. And I'm like, come on. He said, no, he had to jump as high as he could. I go, get out of here.
Goes through the rafters and through the clouds and then pulls this ball down, and I was just like, I was sick.
People will always remember that play that got the 49ers in their first Super Bowl.
Deep in NFC territory here with a 38-35 lead. Passing totals for both teams already approaching the 900-yard mark. As Dalton to his teammate Gresham picked up the first down just inside the 30. And Dalton on the ground with Ryan Matthews for a gain of about 5.
And with the intensity picked up, the running game's become a little more of a factor.
And Matthews averaged 5 yards a carry. His whole thing with Ryan Matthews, he's a gifted kid. Look at the day Brandon Marshall had. Wow.
How's the average doing?
But Ryan Matthews averages 5 yards a carry. It's been injuries and fumbles. If he can eradicate those, he's a premier back.
Most touchdowns, Jimmy Smith, that he's currently tied with Brandon Marshall. Ryan Matthews again short of the first down. That'll bring up 3rd down. Well, a little shout out to Adrian Peterson.
Dan, I was at the Senior Bowl last week, and they were coached by the Minnesota Vikings, and I had a conversation with some of their coaches, and there's Jared Allen, general manager Rick Spielman, and apparently he is already weeks ahead of his rehab. He is such a workout freak, and his body is such a temple to him, he's way ahead.
3rd and short. Matthews has the first down inside the 15. London Fletcher, who turns 37 years old in May for the Washington Redskins, makes the stop, replacing Brian Urlacher here at the Pro Bowl.
Saw Fletcher on the field before the game, Doug, and he was getting the sweat up. And at his age, I said, "Are you having fun?" And he said, "Are you kidding me?" He had a big grin. He was working out. And here's a guy that has played in every game. He's never been hurt in his career. 224
regular season games London Fletcher has played in. He's going to be a free agent in May, but Redskins say they want to do everything they can to make sure he stays with Washington.
How about just the fact that it's 14 years at 5'10", playing linebacker.
So you're going to lock into the 5'10" thing.
Absolutely. That's what I lock into with London. And he's all over the field all the time. You know me, undersized guys.
He's a great player. But I'm with you. I like what you had to say in our open, Doug, about how playing in the Pro Bowl kind of made you feel like your career was justified because of the vote of your peers. And that's the way I feel for that guy, London Fletcher, is that he's finally getting the recognition and respect that he deserves.
Gaining respect from your peers is what it's all about.
Second and short. Vontae Leach gets close to the goal line, picks up the first down, and London Fletcher is there to put the stop on it.
Vontae Leach does not carry the football too often. He's one of the best lead blockers in the game, though. He puts that Ravens helmet down, and usually people are going the other way. And typically, Doug, the beneficiary is Ray Rice.
You know, the fullback position's a lost art now.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, with all the tight ends and the tight end formations that make the tight ends jump back there, when you have a pure fullback that can run lead and smack a linebacker in the mouth.
Yeah, he enjoys a block for Arian Foster, made the Pro Bowl last year. Of course, block for Ray Rice. And Vontae Leach is in for the touchdown.
Good for him. That's a working man's touchdown right there.
Well, the AFC opens up its biggest lead of the game. Of course, Vontae Leach played for Kubiak in his days in Houston. Leach, former Packer, Saint. So 11:40 left. 45-35 AFC over the NFC. Vontae Leach with a spike with authority.
The road to New Orleans is full of surprises.
3 on the way. Oh! NYN!
Contenders.
Duke holds on at the end.
Pretenders.
It's good! It's good!
Cinderellas.
Long Beach State upsets the Panthers.
But only one national champion. March Madness live from the Big Easy. Only on ESPN America.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise. For the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit espnamerica.com.
Sunsets this week in Honolulu. Look at Mike McCarthy. His quarterback Cam Newton trailing by 10 as the AFC has opened up 45-35 lead. Janikowski just about kicks it into the seats.
Is that wide left? Plenty of distance, just a little wide left.
By the way, Doug, we're officially over the 1,000-yard passing mark. And a guy that's had more touchdowns than anyone today, Brandon Marshall, and one of the great highlights that we have seen in recent years anywhere on any field was this circus catch that he hauled in for one of his 3 touchdowns, which had Ray Lewis and others gawking on the sidelines.
That's our MVP right there. He got 3 touches. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Wade Phillips is absolutely overwhelmed by it. But there is the MVP, it would appear, so far. Cam Newton trying to get the NFC back into it as Jimmy Graham is knocked by Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark is one of my favorite players in the league because he's one of the most intelligent players I've ever interviewed, and he's a college free agent that nobody wanted. Underdrafted out of LSU, and now when you watch he and Troy Polamalu play together for the Steelers, it's almost like there's an invisible thread that connects the two of them. They're so in sync, they cover for each other, and that young man is an undervalued football player.
First Pro Bowl in his 10-year career for Ryan Clark.
180.
Unrestricted free agent from LSU back in 2006. 2nd and 10. Newton to the air. That one is tipped away. Roddy White was out there.
Jonathan Joseph.
Undercutting this.
Yep.
That was an accurate throw, at least. That one was on target, but it was undercut and almost intercepted. The one before was about 5 feet behind the tight end.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 10 from their 20.
180.
Slings it across his body. Steve Smith was out there, incomplete. 4th down, Champ Bailey on the coverage.
You know what, guys? It's getting a little interesting inside. Watch Geno Atkins. Watch right in here and watch the effort with both guys. Here comes Geno. He's trying to make a play. Real good job up front by Nix, keeping him out. Maybe Nix is our MVP today. What do you think? Best pass block of the day.
So the NFC forced to punt. And Antonio Brown back to receive Andy Lee's boot.
You know, when Cam gets in trouble and can't get a few completions, he just reverts to his legs and starts running around and trying to make plays that way.
Comes up at the 38 and gets free. Inside the 30. So a good return by Brown before London Fletcher forces him out. So the AFC down by, or up by 10, pretty good field position for them to add some more with 11:04 left in the 2012 Pro Bowl from Hawaii.
One hope, one dream, one shot. On Super Sunday, anything is possible. And the whole world is watching.
Here we go.
The greatest spectacle in American sport. Super Bowl 46 live from Indianapolis. Coverage starts with Sunday NFL Countdown.
Up for the touchdown.
Next Sunday at 1600 CET. Live on ESPN America. Home of the Super Bowl.
To try to describe the weather in the Ice Bowl would be very difficult. I would get chilled standing here trying to do so. It was played in brutal conditions, as everyone out there who have seen it remembers. And again, to win it in the fashion that we did against a team which was very, very good, the Dallas Cowboys, will always remain a classic time of our lives.
When I saw the rundown today, I knew it was going to be a good day.
Feeling good about this. We're all like kids.
It's a great head.
It's almost salon perfect. Ooh. Got a little crazy here. We've become the most violent show on television. I am unaffected by this.
Merry Christmas! I'm going to need some pep. Holy moly!
Oh, that was a good day.
Don't miss Sports Nation, weekdays on ESPN America.
The NBC Sports Network is your home for Super Bowl 46 coverage. Super Bowl edition of NBC Sports Talk. The premiere of Costas tonight, live from the Super Bowl, and a special edition of NFL Turning Point as well, featuring the Giants and the Patriots all this week, coming your way on the all-new NBC Sports Network. 1st and 10 for the AFC, again deep inside NFC territory, and this is Maurice Jones-Drew with a first down carry. We mentioned the Super Bowl, the New England Patriots back in it. A little capsule of their 2011 season. Tom Brady with a huge year. Rob Gronkowski rewriting the record books for tight ends. 17 touchdowns on the season. They got the #1 seed by winning the AFC East. 7th Super Bowl appearance as Bill Belichick and Tom Brady are back again in the big game a week from tonight from Indianapolis. 2nd and 7. Andy Dalton buying some time. And that is complete to Brandon Marshall down to the 10-yard line. And a first down after the gain of 17.
And you know, Dan, the New England season this year, I think you could make an argument this could be Bill Belichick's best coaching job. Number 31 ranked defense, a lot has been made about that. However, not enough is made about the fact that they're number 3 in the league in turnover differential. So Tom Brady takes care of the football, they get a lead, and that opportunistic defense takes over. It's going to be a great football game. I can't wait.
Dalton, a quick hit out in the flat to Marshall, who gets down to the 5. Just to pick up on your point, 2 teams, Green Bay and New England, very impressive this year. I like what you said, Mike, early in the season. You said we're going to find out if offense can win championships. Well, Green Bay is out of it, and now New England still has a chance to get it done with not.
It's the last of the teams that want the track meet is left, because New Orleans wanted the track meet, Green Bay wanted the track meet. New England wants a track meet, Doug.
You know, but they got some help back on defense. They had a revolving door in the secondary all year. Chung is back. They really have solidified right at the right time at the end of the season.
Speaking of track meets, you saw the combined Pro Bowl record yardage now in this game as Willis McGahee is stopped short.
Still 9 minutes left. Plenty of offense left.
3rd and goal.
Well, Wes Welker, what, 122 receptions this year?
Wes Welker, and the combination of Welker with those 2 tight ends is a completely different style. And that's what I'm trying to tell you about the Belichick thing, is that I was at the training camp 2 years ago when those 2 tight ends were rookies, and the staff was trying to figure out how to use them. They knew they had something special, but they were like mad scientists tinkering with it.
They don't have an outside guy that's a dominant receiver.
Which is why they're so creative inside.
AFC trying to increase the lead. Dalton lofts it Marshall's way. He held on to it for the touchdown. Or is it?
Well, no, that was defensive pass interference all the way.
He was testing the official to see if the official would call it.
There's a hold on the entire time by Peterson, but look at the catch.
Look at the catch by Marshall.
Dragging both
Number
feet.
21, defense, penalties decline, touchdown.
Yep. Wow. Well, how about the game Brandon Marshall is having?
Mr. MVP.
4 catches, 4 touchdowns.
Well,
right?
I think he had a catch without a touchdown. Yeah.
Right.
So I think he's 4 for 5, I think, right?
He can't have
5
the
catches,
MVP,
4 for touchdowns. Pretty good percentage.
Any bad.
And how about the 2 catches? The one that was in between the 2 defenders and that one right there.
4 out of 5 is pretty good if you're shooting free throws, let alone playing football.
6 catches, just to make it official, for Marshall for 176 yards and a new Pro Bowl record for touchdowns. Good look at number 4 right there.
ESPN America, bringing you the best NHL action all season long. On Saturday night, Eastern Conference heavyweights collide as the defending Stanley Cup champs welcome Malkin in the Pens to the Garden. Penguins at Bruins, Saturday at 1900 CET, live on ESPN America.
There are so many things to admire about the way Michigan State plays, the way they rebound and relentlessly pursue the ball, their help defense. But one of the things you really admire about Tom Izzo is his ability to get his team a shot, especially after a timeout. They run a lot of great set plays. I'd hate to be the assistant that has to scout your team and come up with all these plays, but they are multiple option, and Tom Izzo is going to take us through one of those plays right now. Tom?
Well, we're going to take it through one of our key plays. It's a chest down play, and why don't you guys run it? We'll kind of show you the different. There's a lot of different options off the play. We'll start with a dribble entry. Dribble entry and a pin down on that side. Looking to get the ball right here in these squares, right here. As soon as we pass it, we got a back screen for a lob. If that's there, we throw it. If not, we got a ball screen and roll. You're rolling them out. If they help on that, we got the third option, which is for a jump shot for Draymond. He hits it like that, we're in business. So let's get the defense out here and run it hard. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Probably going into you. Here we go. Ball screen, good, 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 good. Roll, good. Back, good. Nice, beautiful. God, that looked good.
It's all coaching. That's Michigan State's chest down play. It's like the Packers power sweep. You may know it's coming, but can you stop it?
Well, to this point, there's your slam dunk MVP candidate, Brandon Marshall, who had 6 touchdown catches all year for the Miami Dolphins, 4 today, a new Pro Bowl record, 2 of them in spectacular fashion.
Going up after the ball, the one laying on the ground off the tip used his legs. He went straight leg intentionally to tip it to himself and got the touchdown there. And then they're being draped all over him. Focused to hold on to the ball, tap the toes.
One of the new challenges for head coach Joe Philbin in Miami is going to be the decision on who the quarterback will be throwing the football to to Brandon Marshall.
So with that latest by Marshall, it is a 17-point AFC lead. Again, that is nothing in this game with 8:25 left.
And Dan, I think a lot of people think Matt Flynn, the Green Bay free agent, is going to be the guy that heads to Miami with Joe Philbin.
Pearson's going to come out with it. 7 yards deep into the end zone. And he's knocked down, but after a good return. And Ray Lewis will put a microphone on him, and it is a dream.
I need one drive. I need one drive. Oh, we got action. We got action. He housing it. He housing it. Housed it. He housing 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 it. Hey, I ain't never seen you that excited for a Steeler. Oh, man, I got you.
Ray Lewis watching Antonio Brown in that good punt return, which wasn't quite housed.
Housing it. Is that one word?
We got a sack. Cam Newton's brought down by Von Miller, who reeled in the 250-pound Marlin, and there he gets Newton, who's about 250.
Well, if Cam was going to scramble around and try to make plays with his legs, defensive line turns it up. Nice little effort, drags him down.
Yeah, Von Miller housed it there.
Now Cam Newton at 6'6".
He's reeling it in.
You ought to, when he's standing next to Breezy, I don't want to stand next to Cam Newton.
Go right 30.
Second pick of the draft, Von Miller out of Texas A&M. And Newton complete to Gonzalez on 2nd down and 18, short of the first down.
Let's see if Cam can get a little rhythm going now with that conversion.
And Doug, you've alluded to that a couple times with him, saying when it gets bad, he loses his technique. He's very much a rhythm thrower. When he gets it going, when he gets his confidence going, all of a sudden he's a different guy. And he just has to set the feet.
Hold on, ready? Take it back from there. Hey, 9-2 coming to you. What ain't it? What is it?
And Newton incomplete. He wanted Jennings. A little more activity up front in the trenches.
A little illegal twist stunt up front.
As long as the twists are on the same side of the field, it's okay. If you cross the nose of the center, it's not.
Like that.
All right, they're allowing that.
They're going to allow that because he didn't go across the face of the center.
Dwight Freeney, the only Colt selected to the Pro Bowl. Now the fortunes of Indianapolis spiraled down with Peyton Manning out this year. 7th Pro Bowl, 3rd straight for Freeney though. On 4th and 7, Newton going for the first down, and he's got it to Tony Gonzalez. Eric Weddle put the pop on him, and he says, I barely fell it. Gain of 19. for Gonzalez. As we send it down to Alex with the star of the game. Alex?
Brandon, 6 touchdowns all season long, 4 here today. What's the difference?
You know what? Down in Miami, getting a feel for different quarterbacks, had 3 or 4 of them throughout my 2 years there, and you know the quarterbacks make it easy for me. So these guys are just putting it in the right places, and I'm making the play, so it's easy right now.
So you're impressed with Andrew Dalton?
He's impressive. He's a rookie, but you know he seems like he's like a 10-year vet. So his career is going to be special.
You mentioned some of the things going on in Miami, a new head coach there. We don't know exactly who the quarterback might be. What does the future hold there?
It's strong. You know, when you look at what Coach Sperano was able to do, the foundation he's built, a lot of people don't give him enough credit, but we have a solid locker room, high character guys, and leadership there. And new coach coming in, he's inheriting a strong team.
Talk a little bit about today. How fun has this been for you?
It's awesome, man. This is my playoff. So I'm approaching it as such, and it's fun.
Did you come in with a goal of scoring so many touchdowns?
I came in the goal was trying to get MVP. I honestly text my family and friends and said, hey, I'm going for MVP, because you never know the next time you're going to be back. So it's a blessing to be voted in by your peers, and it's awesome. So I'm going for it.
Thanks, Brendan. Appreciate it. Dan, you think this guy will win the MVP?
He's got my vote.
Got Ray Lewis's vote.
I'm in that boat with him.
By the way, Marshall mentioned getting the votes from his peers. The teams are based on consensus votes by a combination of fans, coaches, and players. As Ray Lewis continues to talk to his defense, and down goes Newton again. Von Miller with his 2nd sack.
And that was another planned quarterback run. All the linemen pass set, released.
What happened to all the one-on-one passes out on the edge to the corners?
See that little spin move? Can we see that one again? Watch there is so much ability, and then look at him having fun. He made like 4 spin moves. The one to beat the tackle, and then 3 on the ground.
So 4th and 15 from the AFC 42. Gonna go for it here. And Newton feels the pressure again. Chased out of the pocket. Slings it right into the arms of Weddle, who's got his 2nd interception, and the ball pops loose. And Derek Johnson of the Chiefs has it. And he's still on his feet. Cam Newton lets him go.
Little schoolyard going on or what?
Now, Doug, as you predicted, Doug, it got a little more testy in the 4th quarter. The rookie quarterbacks have had to deal with that. Here comes the pressure. Freeney's after him for real.
He was. Freeney was flying trying to track him down.
Now, Cam's been wild high all day. He's down, flips the ball up. Johnson picks it up. Cam is going to swipe at the flag. He doesn't get the flag.
I think he got his flag. How about, well, you knew Weddle was going to try to pitch that as soon as he started to return.
Janikowski tacks on the point. We now have the highest scoring Pro Bowl in history. 58-35 as Derek Johnson takes it to the house.
Hey, this is Justin Timberlake.
This is Kobe Bryant.
I'm Tim Tebow.
I'm Sugar Shane Mosley.
Venus Williams.
And you're watching Sports Center. Sports Center. Sports Center. Sports Center.
Sports Center.
Ba-da-da.
second down and 3. Brady back to the end zone, and did he put it in? Gronkowski says yes, and the official agrees. Touchdown, New England. Andre Goodman shakes his head, wondering how did he catch that? Look at the big tight end laying out for that one. This week, don't miss the premiere of Costas Tonight, live town hall from the Super Bowl with Commissioner Roger Goodell and some of football's biggest names. Costas Tonight, live from the Super Bowl on the all-new NBC Sports Network. How about that shot?
That's pretty awesome.
That is amazing.
What do you call that, Dan?
I'm not going there. I do know that Brandon Marshall has got my vote for MVP. As Janikowski made another field goal from the kickoff spot.
I think we got to take a rule from Canada and give you a single point if you kick it through the uprights on the kickoff.
Well, there's the scoring line. 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter by the AFC has built this 59-35 lead. Again, the highest scoring Pro Bowl in history. And I guess in a year in the NFL when we saw all sorts of records broken, it's only appropriate that the All-Star game here lives up to that billing as well. So the NFC back to work from its own 20. Cam Newton continues to call the game for them, and they keep it on the ground to Marshawn Lynch. Gain of about 7 or 8, brought down by Ray Lewis.
Well, the AFC defensive line kind of turned up the level of competition as they went into this fourth quarter. And I mean, you saw it on that last play when Freeney was chasing Cam Newton from behind full speed, saying, I'm going for a sack. And makes Cam force a throw, it sails and goes the other direction. Are we in a mode of conservation now and running clock? Or are we trying to come back?
Well, the first handoff was somewhat indicative, huh? He just burned a minute there.
180.
That answer your question, though?
There we go. We're back to game speed from the first quarter.
Lynch finally dragged down around the 40.
I think there's been a $25,000 concession.
Winner of the game gets $50,000. Loser gets 25 grand. Everybody wins though, but especially for the younger guys, that 25K figures in a little bit.
Oh, when you bring family and friends out here, it pays for the vacation.
Let's go down to Alex.
Dan, we looked like we had a gentleman's agreement going on in the first quarter of this game, but listen, the guys on the AFC sideline, Richard Seymour and Dwight Freeney, said that the rules changed a little bit when the NFC started pulling out some of their antics, doing the onside kicks and the fake punt, the quarterback running. So he said, we're going to change modes here and go after him, and they did, and here we have it.
Well, he was out of bounds. Antonio Brown.
You do know, yeah. Do know what position Antonio Brown plays, right, guys? How about that? We got a defensive back that is really a wide receiver. Maybe he's auditioning for Bill Belichick's team, right? A la Julian Edelman.
Julian played as many snaps on defense as he did on offense against Baltimore.
Yeah, 180.
And a college quarterback also does.
So just kind of running out the clock here. This does look a little bit like the outset of this game where it did get off to a bizarre start. Too relaxed of a start. 50,000 here at Aloha Stadium certainly picked up on it. And again, you never know, especially first comers to the Pro Bowl don't really know how to react sometimes. How hard do you play? And then the AFC started to pick it up. Intensity increased. Saw some hits. Cam Newton got dropped a couple of times by Von Miller. It turned into more of a feel of a game, but then the AFC with all these points in the fourth quarter is going to put away this Pro Bowl and exact revenge from their defeat last year to the NFC.
Now, what do you get for the Best Actor Award? Huh?
Ryan Clark on Lynch here.
Watch this, watch this.
Boom. Oh, take a dive, take a dive.
Bump.
Oh,
and they're both smiling. Look at him laughing.
He really missed him with the shoulder, too.
What do you call that, an Emmy? Is that one of those things? Is that what it is,
That's
Dan?
a nomination.
Okay. Best actor is an Emmy? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right. I knew you'd know that.
Oh, yeah, I picked up right on it.
I was looking
right
at Flutie on that one.
What are the Oscars?
I don't know. What are the Oscars?
Oh, we got a touchdown.
Early call by Flutie to Fitzgerald.
Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, they're picking on the wide receiver.
I mean, you almost have to, don't you? You throw a wide out there, you got to.
Did he double move him, or what did he do?
He's playing press man, which you're not allowed to do anyway. And he has no idea how to do it on top of that.
That's Fitzgerald's third touchdown catch.
That almost looked like a gentleman's agreement that I'm going to let you run the fade.
Yeah, there's been a few of those.
That's got an asterisk next to it.
A few have worked out plays. Oh, look at this. Drew Brees with a little drop kick. Doug, you proud. No one prouder than you.
Oh, Drew and I talked about that. He wants to do one by the end of his career.
There it is.
And I suggested to him, hey, the Pro Bowl, it doesn't matter. Go get one. Ask the coach.
How's the form here, Doug?
Take your time.
Oh!
Drew.
Had his moment. Had his chance, Doug.
Had his chance. Poor drop. The ball was angled slightly to the left. You need to put the tip of the ball a little further out to the right there, Drew.
Your Canadian Football League days, of course.
Is that a rouge? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, the rouge was the single point thing.
Right.
That was just strictly Drew trying to drop kick, and he mishit it. Drew can do it. We used to mess around all the time in San Diego.
Well, you did it in the regular season game, right?
Regular season game, we were playing the Dolphins, and actually Chris Berman had seen me doing messing around. He whispered it in Belichick's ear. Belichick got excited about the idea and let us try it, and I was fortunate enough to hit it square, and it went through. Believe me, very easily could have missed it.
Well, we've had a lot of fun in this Pro Bowl, and you haven't had a chance to share the story of when you first found out that you were selected for this game. I think it's a great story. It came from one of the all-time greats.
You know, being in a position where I was always the underdog and trying to prove myself, so my first Pro Bowl was very important. I came in the locker room one morning, and Bruce Smith always had a knack for finding out early who made the Pro Bowl, and he walked up, he said, hey, Doug, congratulations. I go, what's up? He goes, you made the Pro Bowl. And I just had a big smile on my face, jumped up, gave him a big hug, because it was very meaningful to me.
That's pretty cool.
Well, Randy Moss has Drew Brees. Randy.
I have Mr. Dropkick here. All right, so what's the backstory?
Real drop kick. Well, so my first year in the league, 2001, Doug Flutie and I were in San Diego together there for 4 years. Well, Doug Flutie was master of the drop kick, so he had taught me that. And Doug's here today doing the game. And so
just talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, he did. So just now, David Akers came and said, hey, you want to drop kick one? I was like, absolutely. Doug's here watching, I got to do it. Unfortunately, Doug, I dropped a little too far forward, so I didn't get the lift that I needed. It needed to be sitting back a little bit, so totally my fault. I got to redeem myself at some point. I don't know when that's going to be, but Doug, just make sure you're there or you're watching, all right?
You gave it the old college try, Doug.
He got it. He will make it when it counts.
Good seeing you guys are like old fraternity brothers catching up this week.
I think the world of Drew, and when I saw him this week, my face lit up, and I mean, we go back and went through it together, and I have so much admiration for Drew. He isn't one of these guys that was handed it on a silver platter.
That's right.
He had to earn it. He and I fought it out for a year for the position. Second year, he took over, had some struggles. Then when he finally hit his stride, had a bad injury. San Diego gives up on him. He has to rehab it to death and go to New Orleans and reprove himself. And it's just tremendous. 5-year Pro Bowls, Super Bowl champion, phenomenal, classy guy too.
Now, I'm going to give you, Doug, one of my favorite games that now we're going to go to break.
2-minute warning here with the AFC on top, 59-41. Back with more from Aloha Stadium in just a moment.
Trying to find that inner strength, but just pull that back and get that motivation to not
Catch all the action on Friday Night Fights starting at 0400 CET, live on ESPN America.
ESPN America isn't just your source for North American sports in Europe and the Middle East.
It's a community that brings American sports fans together.
We've taken fandom to the next level by teaming up with Twitter and Facebook
so you can debate the hottest sports topics with other passionate fans
and follow some of your favorite ESPN American personalities.
What are you waiting for? Get online and join our community.
Check out ESPN America's great apps on Facebook
and follow us on Twitter.
Now there's a pair of hands. That's the fire and knife dancer from Paradise Cove, right here on Oahu. $59-41 AFC, about ready to even up the all-time series in the Pro Bowl at 21 games apiece. With the carry. And you were talking about a little kid out on the field before the game, Doug. Out there with your old pal Drew Brees in the pregame warm-ups. There's Drew.
I saw Drew throwing, so I had the itch to pick up the ball and play catch with him. And
you were focused.
Yeah,
what happened on this route?
Well, he's short. Watch him. He cheats the drop here. Come on, Doug.
I was pretty content with that. I hit my first shot. I said that was on the money. I'm done.
By the way,
so
Brandon
Marshall. You warmed up Brandon Marshall.
He did. Getting him ready for it.
Getting ready for the MVP.
Who just won the MVP. It's official.
Yeah,
Marshall came up to me and after that throw and he went, man, it was on time. It hit me right in the hands and I got both feet down.
That's my boy, Drew.
You never know when you're going to get your chance to get back in this game. Cam Newton's first experience in the Pro Bowl on the losing end, but a pair of rookies we saw, him and Andy Dalton. History made there. History made in points scored.
And more trick special teams plays than ever before in a Pro Bowl.
I got a kick out of that.
Oh, I loved it. I loved every minute of it, but what it did was turn the tempo up.
Stirred the pot a little bit.
Stirred the pot.
Two teams here have combined for more than 900 yards passing, over 1,100 yards total, over 50 first downs, and 100 points on the nose. Wow. And no one had a better day in all of this offense than Brandon Marshall. The Miami Dolphins receiver with a record 4 touchdown passes in the game. Part of the scene here, renewing friendships, meeting some of your counterparts that you've battled on a football field for the first time, mixing and mingling with the very best of the game. Talked about Brandon Marshall. Can't get enough of these highlights. 4 touchdowns in all.
First one was a stutter go. Left Brandon Browner in the dust. Good run after the catch.
This is an easy one. That one may be the best. There's another one coming up that might have rivaled it.
I like this one.
You like this better?
Yeah. You got Peterson holding on to his left arm. He catches it and gets both feet down.
Brandon Marshall, the 2012 Pro Bowl MVP in the AFC win. Let's go down to Alex.
All right, so Brandon Marshall has a gift for his mom. What are you going to give her?
You know what? I have a car. My wife has a car, so I'm gonna give it to my mom. She deserves it.
So you win a car?
I think so. I think that's the truck right there. So
Oh, nice. Wow, that's a good one. GMC. Okay, so that goes to your mom. So congratulations here. Just tell me kind of, you came into this game with the goal of being the MVP.
You know what? It's always a blessing when you get voted by your peers and the coaches around the league. And I don't take it for granted. You know, you never know when you're going to come back. And that was a goal of mine, to have that under my belt throughout my career. And it happened today. Spoken into existence. That's what happens when you speak positive.
The guys upstairs were looking at some of the touchdowns. Walk me through a few. What will you remember? Which touchdown from this game?
It's all the same. You know, since Jay Cutler, I've had a few different quarterbacks. And, you know, being in the Pro Bowl, you have these elite quarterbacks you're playing with. And it's all them. They put them in the right spots, and it's easy for me to make the catch, you know. So it was the quarterbacks.
What's your mom's name?
Diane. Hi, Mom.
Diane, you got a fancy new car. Yeah. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you.
Thanks to her son's efforts, 6 catches, 4 of them going for touchdowns. He is the Pro Bowl MVP. And the final 59-41 coming up. We'll get you back to Indianapolis for another live report in anticipation of Super Bowl 46. Bob Costas in the game. Gang with the latest.
The Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup, and they pour on to celebrate with Tim Thomas, their heroic goaltender. And this will undoubtedly be the highest that it's ever been held. Shoot,
Unleashes the fury! Don't miss the NHL all season long, live on ESPN America.
In Super Bowl 20, the unstoppable Chicago Bears met the AFC wildcard New England Patriots. Following an early turnover by Chicago, New England would be the first to score, but the Patriots were then forced to watch their fragile lead get blown away in a record-breaking tidal wave of points. Jim McMahon and his solid offense marched over the Patriot defense for 408 yards, 3 field goals, and 4 touchdowns. Led by MVP Richard Dent, the Bears' league-leading defense registered 7 sacks and limited the Patriots to a meager 7 rushing yards, enabling Chicago to walk off with a decisive win.
The biggest play and the thing that I remember the most was it was 4th and I believe 8 or 10 yards, and John Mobley knocked down the 4th down pass from Brett Favre.
4th and 6 for the 31. Blitz is on. Favre hit as he throws. Pass is going to be incomplete. Denver's going to win it.
That feeling was something of relief and just exhilaration, because we'd had been there 3 times and lost 3 times, and we're going back against Green Bay, and no one expected us to win, and so for us to do that, to surprise the world and finally get that monkey off our back, was an unbelievable feeling and something that I'll never forget.
A quiet Sunday night in Indianapolis, except for this guy who's doing heaven knows what, and I certainly hope it turns out all right for him. Next Sunday, the scene will be much different as the Patriots play the Giants here in Super Bowl 46. So welcome back inside Lucas Oil Stadium. Bob Costas joined again by Tony Dungy and Rodney Harrison. At the center of all this, obviously, the quarterbacks, 2 of the best.
They really are, and this